Everyone who signs the Citizen Power campaign petition must be registered to vote in the state of California. Registering and re-registering signers to vote is a critical part of the petition process. The following instructions will help you avoid common mistakes in the registration process.
The most important thing when it comes to voter registration forms is get completely familiar with the form. Actually sit down and fill it out yourself. Become knowledgeable about every question on the form. One of the most common mistakes is that people will start filling out the registration form without reading it closely. Quite often, people will begin by writing their last name in the first space. If you take a look at the form, you'll notice that the first and the middle name are the two top requests on the top line. They're separate boxes. The space in the second space is where the last name is requested.
The registrant may use an initial for the first name or middle name if he or she normally signs in that manner. For example, E. Marion Smith or Elaine M. Smith. If there is no middle name, please leave this section blank. A married woman must use her own first name. For example, Jane Q. Voter, not Mrs. John Voter. Registrant may use a hyphenated last name. The registrant may use a name suffix, such as junior, senior, the first, second, or third, etc., after their last name. Do not use titles such as Doctor, Reverend, Lieutenant, Captain, etc.
Their address is not requested until the very third line, which is actually space number 4. If you take a look at the form, it will make sense. For this reason, hold on to the form and patiently instruct the registrant. Point these details out before you give them the form. Advise them to take their time and carefully read each line before filling it out. Let the registrant know the form must be filled out completely, neatly, and legibly. The very first address request pertains to their residence, and that is found in space number 4. It is in this area that the voter will also write in their county. All voter registration forms from all counties can be used by all Californians. If I'm down in San Diego as a resident of Riverside County, and I register to vote on a San Diego registration form, because I'm writing Riverside in here, that form will get to the Riverside office. So you can go ahead and register people in San Diego from different counties. Mail them in as usual. The registrar of voter will forward the form to the correct county. Some people pick up their mail by P.O. Box. If this is the case, that information is requested in space number 7. You'll notice a unique write-in space for number 6. This only pertains to individuals who live at a crossroads or a junction without a home address, usually in the rural areas. Then we move on to date and place of birth in spaces 9 and 10. Below that, in space 11, the voter is requested to provide either their California driver's license, California ID card, or the last 4 of their Social Security number. In spaces 12 and 13, there is a request for a phone number or email. Although it is optional, encourage the voter to complete this area in case there is a question about the form after they leave the table. It's a way for you to get in touch with them. This information cannot be used outside the purposes of voter registration, election, or petitions. Having this information may enable the registrar's office to process the form in a more timely manner. In space 14, encourage the voter to complete party ID. If they register as an independent, they won't be able to participate in the upcoming gubernatorial primary. Space 15 asks the voter if they want to receive an absentee ballot. This is also something that you will want to encourage a voter to fill out, because voting by absentee ballot is easy and convenient. All military personnel should be advised to vote by absentee ballot, and what they'll do in space 15, along with anyone who wants to receive an absentee ballot, is simply initial in the area denoted. Space 16 asks the voter if they've registered before. While most of us cannot remember a complete address, we can remember enough. We can remember a street name, a city, a county, and party affiliation, so be sure to fill that out. And more importantly, every time someone moves in the state of California, they must re-register to vote. And this means if you move next door, you need to re-register to vote. Spaces 17 and 18 pertain to registration eligibility, and people always miss these. They never fill them out countless times, so be sure that they've filled these two out. The voter then needs to sign and date the form. They do not have to show a driver's license. The California Secretary of State sees their signature as proof that everything on this form is correct and current. Once the voter signs the form and hands it to you, you will need to thoroughly check the form over. If the form has mistakes, information crossed out, is illegible or incomplete, it probably won't get processed. Especially if there's stuff crossed out, give the voter a new form. Remind them it only takes a couple of minutes to fill out. At that point, you can either offer to shred the form with the mistakes on it or give it to the person to dispose of themselves. The very last thing I do is sign the form, and only after I make sure that this form is complete, legible, and mistake-free. We are signing the form because we are mailing it in to the Registrar of Voters. Over to the right, in the green area, we sign and date the form in two places. The part that we hang on to and the detachable portion that we give to the voter.
Just a reminder that the signer needs to hold on to their detachable receipt until the registrar sends them confirmation of registration in the mail.
To mail the form, simply fold it in half, secure with a little tape, and drop it in the mailbox. It does not require postage, and it must be mailed within 3 days of receiving it. We will be sending this form to the registrar's office because we want to make sure that this person gets registered to vote. Be sure to remind the voter to check all of the information on the postcard that they will be receiving from the registrar's office. You have to make sure everything on there is correct, including party affiliation. If they do not hear back from the registrar within a month, there is a phone number on the detachable portion that they should have held on to, and they can give the registrar a call and find out the status of their registration. Store all of the completed voter registration cards in a safe place and do not leave them unattended.
Some important final reminders. Always remember to use black or blue ink. Do not pre-mark voter registration cards. No items of any value can be given in exchange for registering to vote, including cab fare, candy, etc. And a registration card must be given to any person who requests one. Thank you for supporting the Citizen Power Campaign. More information can be found at unplugthepoliticalmachine.org.